Here we are. Okay, so welcome along to our first of our website building course. So if you're watching this as the recording, welcome along, and welcome to Tracy and Shelley who have joined us today. And we're going to go through a short presentation to give you a little bit of history to how I got into website building and why I do it myself. And also then we'll find out a little bit about domain names, hosting. This is going to be today is very much the basic level. So a few weeks back, I put in the group when I created the group and said, what level you at? And there was lots of people who were level 1 or level A or whatever I called it at the time, which was more or less, I don't really know much, which was great, to be honest. That was where I wanted to pitch it at, people that didn't really know much, but what they wanted to do was learn and to be able to manage your own website. So there's two groups, if you like, group of people that will go and have their website built and they'll pay their money and have it built. And that's fine. If you don't want to have anything to do with that, just get someone to build it and leave it to them. They're the experts, let them do it. And there's another group of people who say, all right, I wanted to have a go at this myself. I've got some skills, and I'm willing to learn some other skills. So let's have a dabble and let's try it out. And it may be that you try it out and then you go, oh, stuff this, I'm no good at this, and get someone to build it in the end anyway. All right. Or you're somewhere between the two. You might have a little dabble, you build something and then say to someone, can you make that look better or make it better in some ways or do this that I don't understand? Whatever. So this course is very much at the level of people who have got some skills or want some skills, and you want to start out and say, I want to build my own website. I want to have something to do with my own website. If after you take a couple of these modules and you go, yeah, do you know what, Dave, this is not for me, I'm going to get someone to do it, then that's fine. Get someone else to do it. At least you've had a look and see if it's for you. So welcome, Tracy. Welcome, Michelle, Shelley. And today, it's very much about you guys, but also about the people that are watching the replay and catching up to what we're going to do. All right. So let me just ask you, first of all, where you both are in your journey of website building. So Tracy, first of all, where are you in that journey, which I just described?
I've set up my main page and my description and what I do, but I'm not happy with it. Even though I've launched it, I'm not happy with it because I don't understand enough about it. So yeah, I need to start from the beginning, and I'm not happy with the company that I've gone with.
Okay, and am I right in saying you've got a Wix website?
It is a Wix, yeah. When I done the comparisons, it was one of the ones that was meant to be easy.
Yeah.
It's not. I didn't find it easy, so
yeah. Okay.
That's why I've come out for you.
Right. Okay. Well, a couple of things there that I want to address, and especially for the people who are perhaps watching the replay and they really, maybe they don't understand what Wix is, and that's fine. Just do a Google search on it; it'll soon come up. But Wix is a website builder that, like you say, yeah, it's meant to be easy. But like anything, you're going to have a learning curve. And from when you took out your hypnotherapy course, you've got those steps to success. And right now you're down on the bottom steps, or maybe up a couple of steps. You kind of know a little bit, but you don't know much. And that's fine. That's a good place to be with any new skill. We all know that. But Wix sell it on the fact that you can jump up here pretty quickly, don't they? And you probably thought, well, hang on, I can't get up these steps, and you keep coming back down again. Yeah. So it's a bit of a learning curve with Wix. Some things are really easy, some are not. So Wix, and there's Squarespace, and there's so many others. There's loads and loads of website building programs, if you like, or websites that you can go to that provide this service. We're going to cover this in more detail today, certainly today. Today is very much the basic level. The other thing as well is, you said, it's, you know, you made a page, you're quite, you know, okay, you dabbled through that and you got somewhere, but you're not happy with it. A website will never be finished. So I hear a lot of people say, "Oh, I've got to finish my website." No, you'll never finish it. What you mean is you'll finish it for now, and then you'll change something again in a couple of weeks' time or a couple of days' time or whatever. A website really is never finished because you know you might want to update photos, prices, and so on. And that really is how I got into website building, because going way back, it was very awkward. I had to get in touch with this guy and say, "Oh, can you change this? Can you change that?" And every time I did it, he charged me for it. So I thought, "Oh, this is no good. I'm not getting anywhere with this because I want to keep changing prices." So in the end, I built my own site. And I'll go through that in a moment. So there's a couple of things there for you. You know, yes, you're still going to have a learning curve, whether you stay with Wix or you go to a WordPress site or anything else. All right. We covered the different types of sites today, but there's still going to be that learning curve. And that's the same for everybody. All right. Shelley, where are you in your journey of website building?
I'm very much a novice as well. I went with WordPress. And to be honest, I am finding that quite easy at the moment. Easy for me to understand and that. And I'm following the things, but I'm also watching loads of YouTube because they show you how to do things as well. And the good thing is WordPress has got a little group. So if you get stuck on anything, you put a question up in the group and then loads of people come back and answer you and help you through your steps.
That's
So
right. Yeah,
that's what I'm
brilliant.
doing.
And I'm glad you've gone with WordPress because WordPress is our focus through this course. So you're one step ahead of Tracy now. Tracy, we're going to try and get you over to the dark side. Come over to the WordPress side.
I'm coming.
It's up to you. You don't have to, but you know, it's entirely up to you. And like you say, yes, there's loads and loads of YouTube videos. All right. So a lot of people are saying, you know, oh, you know, I want to get on your website building course for this, that, and the other. It's like, just go on YouTube. There's loads of stuff, you know?
Yeah.
There really is serious amounts of stuff on YouTube, and it's all free. So why not get on there? You know, so yeah, this course, if it leaves some gaps for you, get onto YouTube, type in what you need to know, and get yourself up to speed. It's a great thing to do. All right, so we know where you are, and some of the people who are watching, they'll be in similar places. They may have nothing, they may have something. All right, so whatever you got at the moment. So we're going to assume that you really don't know too much, and like I say, today is very much about the basics. So I've got a short presentation I'm going to go through with you. I'm going to share the screen now and show you the. Here we are. That's it. So let me put this into presentation mode if I can. Here we are. So can you see that on the screen nice and clear? Yeah? Okay. So I'm going to move you. I'm going to minimize you because that's it. For the recording, I think everyone should be able to see the screen then. I've minimized the Zoom call. So this is the website building course, as we know. What are we going to cover? So we're going to the main focus is going to be WordPress sites. That's our main focus. There's lots of reasons for that. Mainly because lots of people now have WordPress sites. WordPress has definitely become, I would probably say, the number one. I don't know if it is, but it feels like it's the number one website building program, if you can call it a program. It's not really a program as such, but yeah, it's where a lot of people go. There are other sites, of course. There are other places, and Tracy has gone to Wix, and I've used Wix in the past, and Wix is great. If you're starting out, it's great. There's some limitations with Wix as well, especially if you have a free version. You don't have the pay for a domain transfer, which I'll cover in a bit of detail later. The other thing we're going to cover, and we do this today, is about hosting. We're going to look at a WordPress site later and talk about plugins. We're going to mention HTML, but we're not going to do any HTML. And I know it just seems like a load of abbreviations, and it is. It stands for Hypertext Markup Language, which again is a load of gobbledygook.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? of what it is behind every single website in the world. The language is HTML mainly. There are other languages as well, but it's mainly HTML. And I really don't want to get too technical on our first session because people won't come back. But you can actually, and I did it in the past myself, you can actually write a whole website using HTML, just using the language. Because what we see is a nice graphical version, but what the website looks at is the HTML, and that's the language that sits behind any website in the world. During this course, not covering this today, but during the course, we will look at adding photos, adding videos, and of course, so much more. And I want your questions. I want to know what you want to cover. I want to know what you need to know. What's your gaps? So I can already think that Tracy's got a few questions around changing from Wix to WordPress, and that's something that's quite complex in some ways. In other ways, it's not. So it depends on how you've set that up, Tracy. But that's what we're going to be covering. Some of that today, some of it another day. Let me take you back to the history of how I got into websites. When I lived in Essex, I had celebrations to party style with more, and you can see a picture there with my mate Nigel outside. That was our opening day of our party store. In fact, it was our second store, that one. We had a shop before that one. It was in a different parade. This was in a main shopping parade in the town which I lived in, Essex. And what you can't see is Nigel, you see he's holding his hand up. He was actually on a microphone at the time saying, "Come along to the party store with more." And we was blasting out music all day. We got several complaints, but there we are. So there's my little van, and we used to do balloons, discos, bouncy castles. It was everything to do with weddings, birthdays, whatever. It was the party store with more. That was the idea. The website at the time was called celebrationsweddingservices.co.uk, as you can see on the screen. And that's so long. And the thing is, you only realise afterwards, that's such a lot of spelling opportunities that you could misspell there, So celebrations, straight away, some people, is it celebration without an S? Is it celebrations with an S? Wedding services, it's like, there's too much there. It's far too long. We're going to talk about domain names in a moment. At the time, we had a one-page website, literally a one-page website built. It cost me £350. It might have been £375, something like that. It was 300 and something, nearly 400 quid. To put, effectively, it was our brochure online. What the guy did, he come round to the house to pick up a brochure from the house at the time. And he went through some bits and pieces about how he was going to create this wonderful website. And at the time, you've got to remember, websites and internet was very new. I didn't really even know what it was going to look like, how we're going to access it, or anything like this. It was really different. And effectively, all he did was put the words that we had in our brochure, and almost exactly, word for word and price for price, online, which was okay, I suppose, but it was boring. I'd seen other websites at the time, and I thought, well, that's boring. So I said to my wife, I could have done that. So Tracy being Tracy, she went, yeah, go on then, do better. So I did. So, okay. So I thought, how am I going to do this? So I took numerous website building courses. Any courses that was going, I took them. And these were like nighttime courses in colleges and stuff like that. And, you've got to remember the times. Actually, I've got what's it called? City and Guilds. I've got a City and Guilds. That shows you how long ago it was in website building. So, quite an old school website building qualification. I took another one when I moved to Wales, a new course, because everything's changing. And I've got an OCN, which I think is the new version of a City and Guilds in website building now. So I've been building my own sites ever since. And I built the websites for the shop. I built the websites for the discos. I built, my own websites when I became, I stopped building websites for a while once I was employed as a trainer. And then when I became a hypnotherapist again, I started building my own sites again. And since then, that's what I've done. The software is always changing, as I said. I used to use a software called Publisher initially, then it was Dreamweaver I used, and now I've moved on to WordPress. And I find that WordPress sites, again, you've got that learning curve, but they are easy to use, easier, should we say, than some. It's always changing, and I would urge you to change with it. And that's why I've took other courses along the way, because as website technology changes, I wanted to change with it as well. So let's look at domain names. Now, the domain name is the www bit. All right. So, I've got davidfinch.co.uk. I would urge you to keep it short. Celebrations, wedding services. It's such a long name. So keep it short. So, and you can describe what you do, like DIY.com. Anyone know what DIY.com is?
Do
Do
it
it
yourself.
yourself.
It's what? Sorry?
Do it yourself.
Yeah, you'd think so. Go on. Anyone else?
I don't know.
People are watching the replay. They're going, "Oh yeah, it's B&Q." That's what it is. So B&Q don't have B&Q. They have DIY.com. So it describes what they do. And there was a time, I think it's probably late 90s, early 2000s, people were going for descriptive websites. So DIY.com is a great example. So they do DIY stuff, don't they? So if you type in DIY, of course, you get on to B&Q website, which is what they do, DIY stuff. So at the time, there was massive amount of those types of websites. Do you go for .com? Do you go for .co.uk? Do you go for .wows? I've got the retreat.wows. Costs you a bit more. I don't know why, but there you are. Or what? There's loads and loads of .whatevers. So again, you've got to make the decision. .com tends to be more American, more international, shall we say. .co.uk does what it says on the tin. It's UK. .wows, if you never intend to go anywhere else and take your business anywhere else, and you live in Wales, go for .wows. When I looked at the retreat, .co.uk I think was already taken, or .com was one of them was taken anyway. So, but .wows came up, and I thought, I'll have .wows. The retreat is based in Ebervale. It's never going to move. I'm not going to take it somewhere else out of Wales. It's going to be there. So the retreat.wows, So how do you find out if that's available? You can go to this website here, ionos.co.uk. There's loads and loads of others. I just happen to use Ionos. I went to them probably about a year ago now with all my website, different pieces, bits and pieces. My wife has got a website which I manage for her. So I took about 6 websites at the time, all over. Some I don't use. I just had the names. So I took them all to Ionos, and they've been very good. So I can recommend them. I used to use them. They used to be called oneonone.co.uk or .com, I think they were, something like that. And now they're called Ionos. So let's have a look. Hosting. What is hosting? I think a lot of people kind of get this. So imagine your website is a book in a library, and the library is the internet. And that library there in that picture is amazing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Hosting is the shelf space to keep your book. So think of the internet being massive, and a library like that there being massive. And someone wants to find your book, because actually your book is the website. The pages on your website are like the pages in your book. So you can have as many pages as you want, of course. But if you've got just a 1-page website, that's still okay. If you've got several pages, that's fine. But hosting is what you're paying for to store the book. So with anything, you're going to have to buy your domain name, your www.davidfinch.co.uk or whatever. And then you pay someone to host your website. Now, I said just now, go to Ionos. You don't have to go to them. There are several. There's hundreds, thousands of others that you could go to. You pay your money, you take your choice. You can move your book to another library, all right? So what that means is you can pick up your book and go from Ionos or Wix, should we say, with Tracy. You can come from Wix, where you're storing your book now, and you can bring it to somewhere else, Ionos or wherever, somebody else. It doesn't really matter who. It can be messy. I'm going to say can be, because sometimes it's very straightforward, other times it's not. And it does depend on lots and lots of things. And in some respect, it might be better, Tracy, that me and you have a conversation offline or off of this kind of session to see how messy it could be. All right, and I'll talk you through that. But if someone else who's watching the replay, again, if you're in the same situation, maybe better that we have just a one-to-one conversation and work that out for you, because it'll be different for everybody. All right, it's not a one-size-fits-all. So it's all about balance. Everything's about balance and what you do. So what do you want your website to do? That's what I would say. That's a first key. What do you want it to do? Is it to sell your services? Is it, and when I say sell your services, is it a shop? Is it somewhere that people can download recordings from you as a hypnotherapist? What is it about? Who's your audience? What's your age range? Now that's going to make a difference to how it looks. If you're pitching it towards children or teenagers, young people, you probably want it to look more update and friendly and kind of buzzy and whatever. I don't know, something really sort of vibrant. If it's pitched more to older people, maybe it's really plain and simple. I don't know. Maybe it's not. How would they view it? Most people now look at websites on their phones or a tablet. So maybe you make sure that everything you do looks good on your phone or a tablet, and you don't worry about how it looks on a computer, because how it looks on a computer, in some respects, it looks different on a phone. It's called responsive. So the technical term for it is responsive. So is your website responsive? So what that means is it will look good on a computer, and it then automatically changes and looks good on a phone or on a tablet, because they're different sizes. So will it have one page? Literally one page, tells people what you do, you've got your contact details on, and that's it. And lots of pages these days are long, because people, again, looking on phones, they scroll down the phone or up the phone, depending on which way you look at it. So your one page is great. Or will you have lots of different pages with lots of different things? Now, all of this has a cost. So I mentioned domain name, and I mentioned that if you buy .wales, it's normally a couple of quid more. Domain names are relatively cheap, literally a couple of pounds. Let me come back to seeing the screen. So literally a couple of pounds for a domain name, up to probably a tenner, let's say, for a domain name. And it does depend on whether you have .co.uk, .wales, or whatever following it. You can go to Ionos or wherever later on and find out your own, if your domain is available. If it is, great. And watch how it looks when you write it down, because you can't have gaps in a domain name. The other thing I would urge you not to do is not to have hyphens or any other kind of breaking up. Normally it is a hyphen. So, like say David-Finch. Because the thing is, if you're on the phone to someone, you say, "Oh, go to my website. It's David-Finch." They're like, "Oh, what's a hyphen look like?" Or, is it this, that, and the other? It's messy. So the less messy you can make it, the better. All right. So try and keep it nice and clean. So it's literally going to cost you a couple of quid for your domain name. Your hosting is then, no matter where you go, it's probably going to be a similar cost wherever you go. And again, it's not going to break the bank. It's anything from a couple of quid to like £10 a month or whatever you really want to grow into. Now you might look and say, "Oh, this package is good. It's a starter package, couple of quid. That's all you need. Just have that." And then you can grow into a bigger package, a more expensive package. Most of them tend to do, a beginner, an intermediate, and an advanced. Now, the advanced people are people who are making websites every day of the week, and they've got hundreds and hundreds of people, and they buy this space, and they have lots more space, and that's what they use. Chances are the likes of me and you are never going to need that. And that's going to cost lots more money than someone who's just having 1 or 2 websites. Normally, if you have one website, you need the starter package with any hosting company, and that will do you. All right. As far as that goes, that's probably your major cost, your outlay. And you may choose to pay that in one lump, or you may choose to pay it monthly as you go. And there may be a price difference again. If you pay it in one lump, some people offer a discount. If you pay monthly, it may cost a couple of quid more. It's never really going to be a fortune. It's not out of the realms of like, oh, blimey, I can't afford a website, because it's relatively cheap when you look at the comeback that you can get from it, because your clients will want to see your website. If you haven't got a website now, they're going, well, why hasn't this person got a website? Because that's the way people do business these days, isn't it? Everyone's on the web doing something. So if you haven't got one, you need one. You really do. So just running through that information there, did you find that useful? For you two, you're probably up to speed with most of that, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've done the hosting. Sorry, go on. I've done the hosting, and I've done the domain, so I bought them.
Okay.
I will say, with WordPress, you can find a code and go on there, and it literally cost me less than 20 quid to buy my domain name and have hosting for the year.
Yeah, that's brilliant, isn't it? Yeah, like you say, ain't gonna break the bank, is it? 20 quid, you've got hosting for a year. Oh yeah, by the way, that's a yearly cost for those people who are watching again later on. It's a yearly cost. You always pay for that hosting yearly. I don't think you can buy a hosting. I've never seen it where it's like forever. It just doesn't happen. That's their business model, isn't it? People paying in every year. Right. But what you're doing is you're renting space on a server. I use the analogy of a library, but in fact, what that is massive servers with space on them, and you're renting a bit of that space. So they've got the upkeep of all those servers and make sure they're going 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. That's a big thing to do, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
So 20 quid is cheap, isn't it, really, when you think about the infrastructure that's behind all of that. It's amazing. Tracy, where are you with what you've just done?
I bought my domain name separately, and my hosting separately as well.
Yep. Okay.
So I can move my domain name whenever I want to.
That's right, and that's a really good point, actually. Good point to mention. If you buy your domain name, I would urge you that you buy it as well. I've heard this a lot, and in the past it used to happen a lot. People have got wise to it. Is the likes of a website builder will buy the domain name. So if you went to Joe Blogs, the website builder, and they said, "Oh yeah, I'll build your website for you." So you say, "What do you want?" "Oh, I want davidfinch.co.uk." Okay, they register it, they build it, they host it, everything else. You pay your money. They say, "Oh, it's 500 quid. There you go. There's your £500." And then you say, "Oh, I don't want to use you anymore, Joe. I want to go somewhere else now. I want to do it myself or whatever." And they go, "But I own the name. I own your name, davidfinch.co.uk." That's my name. No, it ain't, because I registered it. So yeah, definitely, you register your name. It's your domain then, and no one can take that away from you then.
Yeah, I've also got an email box as well.
Yeah, that's a really good point. When you have a domain name, lots of times they offer you, do you want email with it as well? Now, what that gives you is, of course, the way of using like admin or sales or hypnotherapy or whatever. My one is hypno@davidfinch.co.uk. But you can have many. You can have hundreds. Normally for again a couple of quid. And it looks so much more professional, doesn't it, than something like a Gmail account or whatever. Yeah, so much more professional. So yeah, I would definitely urge you to get it all bundled, get it in one, or you know, like you have, but buy this here, that there, put it together, and you've got your everything in one place, you know. So that's good. Okay, so some of the other people who are watching, they may not have anything yet, so that's fine. They can go off and discover all those things. So the main focus, like I say, is WordPress, and what I'm going to do is show you around a WordPress site that I have, and I'm going to use. Just for those people that may be watching, well, I haven't shared my screen. I'm share my screen. Here we are. So here's the domain checker. So literally, you put your name in there. So if I put David Finch, then of course I would hope it's been gone. You know. So check. Why won't he let me check my own name? That's weird, isn't it? Here we go. So davidfinch.co.uk is taken. So I was going to say I hope so, but you can see you can have you can have davidfinch.wows for £7.50 for a year. It's amazing how it's a little bit more. You can have online.org. So you can see all the different connotations you can have. Now some people go mad and they buy them all. I don't see the point in buying them all unless you're really precious about your name. Because if someone else had davidfinch.org, well, you know, that's okay. I suppose, you know, if I was precious over it and I said, well, I want .wows, I want .online, or .co, then I'd have to buy them all. You can buy .online for £1. That's amazing, you know. So some people would buy them all, and that's okay. But you don't have to. But this is the place where you can check them, check your domain name. So what you get once you've got your hosting and once you've set it all up, there's a little bit of an admin in the background you're going to have to do. But it's just like buying anything else that you buy online. You'll get a username and a password. You'll have to go to that place and you'll have to put that username and password in. And it may be a little bit clunky, first of all, whoever services you're using. But look, just take your time, work your way through it. It's not that hard. And what you'll get is a login screen where you come to your WordPress site. And this is the login screen to come to your WordPress site. As you can see, it's hosted by Ionos. It's the one that I use. So I've saved my username and password on Google, which is I find so much easier. So if you're using Chrome, you can do that. So there's my username. Of course, you can't see my password, which is for safety reasons. And I'll log in. And this is South Wales Hypnotherapy. It's a site that I bought a few years back. And I did use it and created a website for South Wales Hypnotherapy. However, as things change and times changed, the website at the moment just points to my website. It literally points to my site. If you go to southwaleshypnotherapy.co.uk, you'll automatically get transferred, or you click on a button that transfers you. But during this course, we're going to have a look at this site, and we're going to look at what these mean on the left-hand side and what happens to these. The first thing I want to bring you to is posts. Now, traditionally, a WordPress site was created for blogs. So they started out really in the life of like people who wanted to create a blog and just, might have been out of their own interest or something they was interested in, whatever. They was blogging about something. And this is where WordPress really got popular. And people then sort of, oh, well, hang on, I don't have to just use it for blogging. I can actually create a whole website and my blog can be hosted on that website as well. So lots of the themes that you'll see are very much around a blog. And these new posts is exactly that. So you can see I don't have a blog and I don't have any posts, but this is where you would see your posts if you did. Your media is your media library. So here again, there's no media because I have nothing on this site. This is why I chose this site, because over the next few weeks, we're going to start to add bits and pieces to this site. The pages, I've got one page. If I show you what it looks like, this is the page. So it says Sapphire's Hypnotherapy, and it says it's now part of David Finch Hypnotherapy. Please click here to visit the site, and there's the details. So literally, that's what's there. There's nothing else there, just that. Comments, now that would relate again to your blog. So if you have a blog and you wrote, oh, today I'm doing this, that, and the other, blah, 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 people can then write comments back to you, and it becomes a two-way blog, you know? So that's really interesting. Some people really want to do that, and that's fine. The assistant bit, some of these, by the way, we're just doing a whistle-stop tour today. We're not going to cover them today, all right? Parents, where you can choose your theme and customize the theme, and we can look at that again another day. Plugins are, I suppose the best way I can describe a plugin is like a small program that you can plug in to WordPress. So you get these small programs to do lots of things. One of them, the ones that I use a lot, is a calendar. So I use an online calendar and it plugs in to WordPress. So you use it like a plug-in. And there's loads and loads. The online course that I've built now, or I'm building, is through a learning management system. And that, again, is a plugin. So plugins are massive sometimes, or they're really, really small. You can have plugins that do so much stuff. Users is the users on the site, so you can have other users, not just yourself. The tools, again, you know, we'll cover that again another day about importing, exporting. So I just quickly mention it. If you did want to export your site to somewhere else and take it with you, that's the button you're going to need at that point. If you're moving from one provider to another, as I did about a year or so ago. One thing I would urge everyone to get when they first get a WordPress site is limit login attempts. If I just click on that a moment, what this does, it limits the amount of attempts. Now, you see me earlier on putting my username and my password. All right, it's saved. But if I had that in my head, I would have to put that in. All right. What this does, it's a great little plugin. This is a plugin, and it stops people trying to get into your website. And as you can see, China, USA, India, France, and the Philippines are the most failed attempts to try to get into my website. Now, this, don't get paranoid about this. This is not somebody sitting there going, I'm going to get into South Wales Hypnotherapy, like this. This is like a robot kind of, you know, going around the internet, looking at different attempts. Because like the default for lots of WordPress sites, the default name to get in is admin. And so people have put admin and then the word password with a capital P, or password 1, something like that. Do you know what I mean? And so these robots are going around the web, and they're just going admin, password 1. If I scroll down, if I see the attempts, this one doesn't give it. So look, logs. See if it does the logs. Sometimes they, yeah, here we are. So there we are. The first one, they tried to log in as admin. So they've tried to log in as admin quite a lot of times. They've also used South WH, right, which is weird because that actually is my username, and they've got locked out. And the reason they get locked out is because I've got it set to 2 times. If you get it wrong twice, you get locked out, and you get locked out for as long as you can possibly set it, which is days, you know. So as you can see, it's worth having, because I don't use this website and there's nothing really there, is there? Now, apparently someone did tell me that the reason people want to try to get into your website, especially ones like this that's not used, is they can use the space on my hosting. So if you think about it, it makes sense, doesn't it? Oh, hello, Annie. We've just come back to the screen. I was just sharing the screen then and come back and you've just joined us. How are you? You okay? Oh, you're on silent at the moment, Annie. We can't hear you. You've muted yourself.
I'm good, thank you.
Oh, brilliant. Yeah.
I'm in the shop, so I joined a little bit later.
Oh, okay. No problem. Well, there's going to be recording anyway. So, and today is very much the basics. So you might want to start a recording and catch up with some of the stuff that you've missed. Good to see you though. And good to see you
you,
in the
and
shop. You know, yeah, brilliant.
and you're looking well.
Oh, cheers. Yeah. Okay, so let's just go back to that last login attempt. I would say that's a really important plugin to have. If I look at the other sites that I've got, there are always people trying to get into them. So apparently, what I've been told anyway, did a bit of looking into this. So when you get hosting a certain amount of space, so many megabytes, all right? With my website there, I'm not using those megabytes, am I? You know, so let's just call it 500. Let's just say I had 500 megabytes, all right? But I'm not using those 500 megabytes. So what someone can do, if people that are geeky and clever with this, they could use my 500 megabytes or whatever space I've got, and I wouldn't even know because I hardly go to that site. I'd never even know about it. So that what they can do is hack in, using one of their robot tools. If I've got an unsecure password, and they can log in and use my site, and I would never even know. So apparently that's what they use it for. But it's not people that are actually doing it. It's robots, and they're kind of just trawling the internet looking for sites that are not used. So yeah, it's something to be aware of. It's definitely something worth having. Okay, so today we've looked at domain names, we looked at hosting, looked at what you've got, Wix or WordPress or whatever. Annie, tell me, have you got a website at the moment? I spoke to the other ladies.
No,
nothing at all.
No.
Oh, great. Well, you're going to love to watch the replay bit because all at the start we discussed all of that bit there. All right.
Yeah.
Watch the replay bit and then you catch up with where we are now. All right.
Yeah.
So today we've covered the hosting. And again, you pay your money, you take your choice. I can't recommend one over another because they're all very, very similar. It doesn't really matter where you go. Have a look at what the deal is. Sometimes you go, 6 months free, and then pay X amount and so on. It all works out very, very similar. £10, £20 a year, £30 a year, whatever package they're offering. But like I said earlier, go for the small package first and then grow, if you need to, into an intermediate or an advanced package if you needed it, but you probably won't. Probably their starter package or their intermediate package is probably going to be the best one for you. And just look around. I did put a jargon buster up a couple of weeks ago in the group, and on there I recommended Ionos. So if you do want to use that, go to Ionos, that's fine. If you don't, you want to go somewhere else, go somewhere else. There's literally thousands to choose from. But I would say either do what Tracy done, buy your domain name in one place and then your hosting in another, because then you're free to move that domain name around. If you buy the hosting and the domain name in one place, check that it's not theirs and it's your name, and check that you have all the rights over that name. Because you want that. You want to be able to move it from one place to another in the future, should you need to. You might be very happy and just stay there forever. But if you do want to move it, you don't want it to be messy, And we looked at some of the domain names, and using a short name, a catchy name, something that's going to be easy to type and not misunderstood. Some words, if you put words together, they get misunderstood. A great example actually is when I took the retreat. So I've got theretreat.wows. Now let me just get that up for a moment. Let me share my screen again. Hang on, where am I? Here we are. Share screen. Right. Here we are. Right. So if I go to here and I type in the retreat. There we are. So now a guy phoned me. So you see it says theretreat.wows, yeah? And a guy phoned me and he said, I'm just phoning you about theirtreat.wows. And I went, what? And he said, yeah, you've got theirtreat.wows website. he said, I just wondered if you wanted XYZ. He was trying to sell me something, of course. So you can see that if you split up the word, their treat, not the retreat, it makes a different word. And I didn't really realize that until he phoned me. So he said, their treat, do you do treats? It was like this, I don't know, he was selling all these, where you get itemized,
How are we doing?
Good.
oh, hang on, I'm just going to mute Annie.
Yeah, mute me.
Yeah. Sorry, Annie. I could hear people come into the shop or whatever. Yeah, just
Yeah.
yeah. There we are. So with a website, as you can see, the retreat actually looks like their treat. Yeah, personalized gifts. That's what he was doing. Sorry, personalized gifts. Couldn't remember the name for them. Where you get a name on something or something like that. And he was like, "Oh, it would work for you because it's their treat." No, it's not. It's called the retreat. It's a therapy centre. He went, "Oh, all right, sorry." So you can see straight away, yeah, you think, all right, I thought I was being clever having the retreat Wales. It's not clever at all. A bit of a numpty thing to do, really, in the end. But there you are. Go on, Tracy, you got a question?
I also bought my my logo and had that copyrighted as well, so that's mine.
All right. Okay. Yeah. So you had someone do that, did you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Good. Good thing. And I would urge you again, with anything like that, make sure you have the royalties to it and you can use it and so on. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I've got
Anything like that. Yeah. Yeah. Good. Good. Okay. Well, look, we're coming towards the end of the session. It was a nice, short, sharp session today about, domain names, hosting, and so on. Gets you started, and a quick look around WordPress itself. Any questions?
Yeah. So I knew I should have written it down because I forgot it. Hold on, let me find it. Look, see, it's gone. I'll put it up in the group because seriously, I've forgotten it.
All right then, no problem. Yeah.
Next time I'll write the questions down as we're going.
Yeah. All right then. Yeah, that's all right, Shel.
So Audacity would be not Audacity. Acuity would be classed as a plugin.
Yeah, it is and it's not. So the way that I use it, it plugs into the site, but it's not actually a plugin. But there are some.
We'll discuss that one on one.
Yeah, it's kind of a bit of a weird one, that one. The way that it looks on the page, it's better to create the page and then put it in on the page as an add-in to the page, rather than having it as a plugin. I don't think it's actually available as a plugin. I think there's other plugins that are available for calendars, but not Acuity. So we'll cover that though, because Acuity is a really good plugin, or a really good scheduler. So we will be covering that later. Definitely, we will be covering it. It comes under the more intermediate to advanced levels. Let's get people creating pages, creating getting themselves something first of all, because there are some people who was literally a step behind yourself there, Tracy, and a step behind Shelley. Well, like Annie actually. Annie's got nothing at the moment. So when you've got nothing, it's like, okay, well, I need to get to that next step. So let's get people to that step, and then we can take them further and further. Yeah. So the way the course will build is that once people sort of move along, I would urge people now, especially people like Annie, to go off, get yourself a WordPress site, get yourself some hosting. Annie, once you watch the replay, and anyone else who's watching the replay, if you want some more advice, either post it in the group so everyone can see it, because it's probably what everyone's thinking, or just give me a message or something, and I'll do a one-to-one with you if it's something really specific, and I think that's the advice I would say to you, Tracy. If you really seriously want to move from Wix, where you are at the moment, and you want to move to WordPress, if you find that difficult, try it yourself. And if you do find it difficult, then just get in touch and I'll talk you through it. All right.
Oh,
Okay, Shelley, you remembered your question? Yeah.
I remember one of them.
Okay.
You said about an email for your website. Okay, so when I was doing the Wix one, the WordPress one,
Yeah.
how do I get an email to do with that site?
Okay. So when you got your hosting, did they offer email as part of that hosting package?
I don't think so.
Right. Okay. Some do, some don't. Who are you hosting with?
I thought I was hosting with Wix. Wix. That's
WordPress.
you, Tracy. WordPress.
With WordPress. Ah, right. No, you're not. You're probably not hosted with WordPress itself. There must be somewhere else. Although there is a. Is it a WordPress.org site? What's your website? Have you actually got it up? Have you got your website up in the internet? Can we?
I don't know if you can see it because I'm building it. So
Right.
it's
Have you published it?
hypnotherapy with Shelley.
Right. So you, what hypnotherapy with Shelley.co.uk?
.com.
Right.
Sorry.
So it's www.hypnotherapy. Now, see, straight away, some people will have a problem spelling that, wouldn't they? Funny enough, I just had to do myself. How embarrassing is that? Right.
Oh, thanks.
Oh, you're good.
Can I short that? Shall I put hypno with Shelley then?
Well, yeah, this is the thing. This is what I was saying earlier about long domain names, right? So hypnotherapy with Shelley.
Shelley.
Now, again, if you was on the phone, and I know lots of people don't use the phones and describe on the phone. I'd say, is that one L or two? That's what I'd be saying at the moment.
Oh yeah, is it with an E or yeah? I didn't think
Yeah,
of this
exactly.
stuff.
Yeah, is it SHLE LIE? Do you know what I mean? You got too many options to get it wrong.
Yeah.
What
Can
about
I
mine?
change that then?
You can, yeah, of course you can. Yeah, you can change. You can buy another domain name, and then you can point it to there. Oh, look, there you are. Yeah, right. Okay, let's have a look.
Yeah. See, I'm not.
Let me
I'm
share this.
working on it. So
So you've got this mind, body, and soul hypnotherapy with Shelley.com. Yeah, there you are.
yeah, that's it.
And you've got these pages so far. But
Yeah.
this page can't be found, probably because you're just building it. That's
Yeah.
your home page. Contact page. You got anything there? Have you put anything with these other pages yet, or not?
No, I put stuff on the contact page.
Right. Oh,
I'm still writing. Yeah. Oh no, I've not seen this.
yeah. Now I would always advise you when you create something, go and have a look at it. That's the other thing as well. Definitely create it and then check it on your phone. Whatever you do, check it on your phone because
Check it on your phone.
most people will look on their phone these days. Yeah,
Okay.
during the course, I'll show you. There's a nice little again a plug-in or whatever that you can get that tells you about the visitors to your site.
Right.
You can see
I've
how
got
they're
that.
looking. Yeah, you can see how they're looking. Are they looking on a mobile phone, or are they looking on a tablet? Are they looking on a PC? And that's good information because if you're the majority of visitors, if they're looking on a mobile phone, then that's the way you really want it to look good on a phone, don't you?
Yeah.
If there's only like out of 100, only 2 look on a computer, yet 98 are looking on a phone, make sure it looks good on a phone.
Okay.
Because otherwise it looks clunky. You go, oh, it looks great on a big screen. It looks great. How does it look on a small one?
Yeah.
On mine, Dave, I done it on the phone.
Right.
Because I swapped it over to make sure, and 98.2% of mine look on the phone.
Yep, that's it. They do these days. I mean, look at yourselves. What do you do? Think about how you do things, and do people do the same thing?
Yeah.
What's that?
That's it.
What's that?
This is called this language here, right? Because you see all this here, right?
Yeah.
That's called lorem ipsum. This here.
Right.
That there. That's called lorem ipsum. It's a gobbledygook language, all right? That's great
Right.
for building websites. Lots of websites have. It's a basic kind of lorem ipsum. It's called, and they chuck it in, and then what you do, you then overtype that with something else
Yeah.
that makes sense. you know, rearrange the words to make proper words, you know.
Proper words. I was like, what the hell's that? That up? Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, you've got something started there, all right. Now this is your blog, all right. You know, like you said, I was going through and talking about a blog.
Yeah.
This is where people can write a comment, all right. So here you can write a comment.
So hello is the blog page.
Yeah, there you go. Hello, Shelley. Oh, well, I've got to actually put a name. See, I think my own name. What's my own name? There we go.
What's your own name?
Yeah. So sometimes, look, like here, look, it makes me put my email address in before I can actually put a post that comment. You know, so it probably won't let. Look, it won't let. I bet it won't let me do it. No, see.
Yeah.
You put in your email and name. So now, if I put that.
That's why you've got a hypno and not hypnotherapy, innit? Yeah.
Well, that's my email address, see? Yeah, hypno@davidfinch.co.uk. Here we are. So you'll get a message now, and you'll say, "Oh, you've got a new user on your .co.uk." You'll get a new user. Here we are. I'll save my name for next time. So I might come back to your site and write another comment in the future. Now, if this was your blog, all right. So here you would have your blog. Hello, world. You know, I'm Shelley. I do this, that, and the other, and you could update your blog daily, weekly, monthly, whenever you decide to do your blog. And then me, as now as a contributor, I'm going to come back and I'll go, oh look, Shelley's wrote a new comment. Oh, what's it about today then? You know, and then I'll read your details.
Right.
And lots of people love blogging. You know, they're very much into blogging, and that's a great way for some people that they really enjoy it, and then they're interacting with their audience, because you might be writing a blog and then, like I have today, I'll just put hello Shelley, but I might write a serious question that relates to your blog, and then we've got some interaction, haven't we?
Yes.
Then straight away then you go, oh well, I'm going to keep that blogging. That blogging sounds like a great idea, as a good thing to do. Some people are really into it. They love blogging, you know.
Yeah.
For me, I just removed the post page, so I don't have a post page on my website. So it's not a blog; it's just a website then. But, we'll be covering those in much more detail as we go through the next few weeks. You know. There we are. Any more questions before we wrap things up?
No. So is it best to move my, because I think I'm gonna have to change my domain name now that you said that, because the
What's your domain name again? I know I looked at your website before, but I can't remember it. So what's your domain name again?
Tracy Cruikshank hypnotherapy.co.uk.
Right. Yeah. See, again, you got.
That's really long, isn't it?
Well, I wanted TC.
So straight away, Tracy, my question now: how do I spell Cruikshank?
Yeah, no. Charlie, Romeo, uniform, indigo, Charlie, Kilo, Sierra, Hotel, Alpha, November, Kilo, and then hypnotherapy.co.uk.
Oh, hypnotherapy, right? What have I done? No.
I'll spell hypnotherapy now, can you?
Oh, that's it. But the trouble is, see, I'm trying to look up the top and type. Now, I'm not very good at that. I look at the keys and type. That's how I spell my word. You know, I get spelling mistakes, you know. .co.uk?
Yeah.
There we are. So, don't get me wrong. Tracy Cruikshank is your name. It's a great name to have because that's you, all right? But the problem is you've got hypnotherapy as well. And there's easy ways that you can cause spelling mistakes there, can't you? You know, all we want to do is minimize. The best way that we can is minimize the spelling mistakes. I wasn't sharing that, was I? So let me share it. Here we are. So I was typing that in and I thought everyone could see it, but of course you couldn't see it because I wasn't sharing it. But here we are. There's your site. So this is, you created this on Wix, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Cool. Yeah. There we are. Okay. So you got the start in there, you know. Oh, look at that! You got the same top on, haven't you? Oh no, different top today. Yeah.
That was my posh
That's it.
top. We had a photo taken.
I love it. I love the way you got all your qualifications on there, all of that, you know. So your get in touch button, what does it do?
Get in touch.
It's going to give me an email or something, is it? What's it going to do?
Yeah, it goes through to Tracy. What it should do. Info at Tracy Cruikshank Hypnotherapy.
Okay. Now, here's something that I would always urge you to do. Check that things work. Look, I'm clicking on that button. I don't know if you can see me now. Clicking that, and nothing's happening, is it?
Yeah.
All right.
Right,
So,
okay.
yeah, when you make a change on your website, go and
Yeah.
make sure it works. And get someone else. Sometimes you do stuff and you think, that looks all right. And get someone else to look at it and make sure it does look all right for them as well. You know?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, that get in touch thing doesn't work for some reason. You've got a word here that just says button. All right. I know it's a work in progress.
Yeah.
But what's the button doing? It's saying button and it's not giving me any options, even if I click
Right,
it.
okay. I'll check them
What's the
now.
button doing? You know? And then here we are, more about you. Reach out now. See, reach out now again doesn't do anything. Yeah, I would
There's a
urge
tip
you.
on them that I offer because that's the my logo that I've had done created. And I've
It's
got the
lovely, isn't it?
copyright.
It's a lovely logo.
Yeah.
Your path to change for a brighter tomorrow. That's a great saying as well. Yeah. That's a lovely logo. Here we are. Find out more. Send your message. Good stuff to have, you know. And then your address. Here we are.
Change that bit. Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, you got the startings of a good site there. You know, you get in touch. You've got a get in touch button at the top. Again, don't do anything at the moment, Tracy. Just check what's happening behind that.
Yeah, I will do. Yeah.
There's something that's not working for some reason. It's probably literally you haven't connected something to something else that needs to be connected. You know.
Yeah.
And yeah, just have a little check of it. Just going to make
I will
that.
do Tuesday.
Now, this is what I was talking about earlier. If you buy your domain name, like you have, Tracy Cruikshank Hypnotherapy.co.uk, you can then have your email, info, or whatever you want. And normally you get something like 100 emails or something ridiculous like that.
Yeah, they gave me 10 free.
Yeah, that's 10. Yeah, who needs that many? Who even needs 10? Do you know what I mean? It's like, because what that is, they're all at Tracy Cruikshank Hypnotherapy.co.uk, but you just have 10 differences with the info bit.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know about you, but I'd get confused after a while with like, what one am I looking at, you know?
Yeah.
I had another one, training at davidfinch.co.uk, and even that I got rid of, don't use it anymore.
Yeah, no.
Because you got to keep checking these other emails and that all the time.
Yeah, no, that was the only one I had. I thought, what do I need the rest for?
Yeah, don't need them, do you? You know.
Yeah.
So you've got a book online section. So what does that do? Oh, nothing to look at right now. Check back soon. That's okay. The thing is, if you are creating a site, sometimes you're going to have this. Nothing to book right now. Check back soon. That, you know, or if you're going to have work in progress, some sites you go to and they say under construction or words to that effect. People understand that, you know.
Yeah.
Go, oh,
I started it off, but then people have been contacting me and I didn't get round to finishing it all.
Goes right back to what I said earlier on, didn't it? Websites will never be finished.
Yeah, because people were just contacting me and I thought, okay then.
That's it.
Get round to it.
My best advice
through the Facebook page.
Yeah. My best advice will be start with something very simple, a one-page website, literally with your contact details on, and then grow from there.
Yeah.
That's the best thing you can do. when you very first get a site, just create a contact page, about us, whatever you want to call it, something like that. Create that page, and that's the one. Just put that out, and then you can build your site. Then build on that. Get your first brick laid, and then build your blocks from then on.
Yeah.
But look, you've got to start. You've got to start there. Shelley, what's your question?
Oh no, I was just going to show it, but you can't see it on my phone.
No.
I had my email to say that you've left me a comment, so I've got to approve.
There you are. It worked. Brilliant.
Now you can spam him with emails.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. I'm going to stalk you now on your website, keep leaving comments. Oh, you soon get fed up with that. Yeah. Okay, look, let's wrap it up for today. Annie, have you got any questions? I know you joined us late.
No, I'm okay. I'll do a catch up now on what was said at the beginning. And I'll have a go looking at WordPress to see what I can find. And I've already got domain names. So, yeah, thank you.
All right. Well, let's you get your first steps. If you need any support, put it in the group, because if you've got a question, it's probably a question someone else is going to ask anyway. So stick it in the group. If it needs to be one-to-one, I'll message you and we can sort it out. But I want to try and help people to get on the first step of the ladder, and then everyone can start to build their sites then over the next few weeks. All right.
Brilliant. Thank you, David.
Right. All right. Let's wrap it up for today. Great to see you all.
Next week.
And same time next week. Same place, same time. All right. I'll see you then.
Dave,
Bye.
before you go, same user ID and meeting name?
Yeah, everything is exactly the same. Yeah, it will be the same for every week. Yeah.
Okay.
Stop the recording there. That's it.